That looks like where we live, doesn't it?
No.
What's that big word?
Hurricane.
Hurricane by John Rocco. To Mom and Dad, I have gone fishing. I will come back with fish by John. P.S. I hope I come back with a fish. John, at 6 years old. How old are you?
6.
Are you going to catch a fish?
Dude.
Good, get it long.
Dude. Like that. Wait, dude.
The further they get behind, the more they become aware, the more their self-esteem and their sense of their own ability begins to change, and people begin to treat them a certain way.
She gets a little break after school, then she goes right into tutoring. She gets another little break, and then we head on the chair. So she's got a full day, and I like to keep her busy.
There is nothing, to me, more important than learning and literacy. I mean, you can look through history, seasons where there was a lack of that, whether it's the Middle Ages, whether it's different seasons in different parts of the world. You know, they're called the Dark Ages because of what was going on and how the world lived. And I think we live in a time where if kids don't learn to read, they're not going to have a full life. How we pass knowledge from generation to generation is critically important. And there's no downside to having everyone read well. And it's not just about reading. If a child can't read, they usually don't do well in school in general, right? Because it touches everything. They can't answer the questions on the test, even if it's in math, if it's in science. If they can't decipher the language, they're already playing baseball with an arm tied behind their back. They're always at a disadvantage.
Table 3, do you have your red pencil and your highlighter? Okay, does anyone see any blends here now?
I'm Jenny Schaefer. I teach first grade at James B. Edwards, and I just learned the Orton-Gillingham approach, and I'm using it right now in my classroom.
Stop. Okay, is everyone blending with me? You guys are just...
My master's in literacy, I feel like, did not prepare me to teach reading. It does a lot of theories and teaches you a lot about comprehension and vocabulary, but when it comes to teaching students how to read, those systemic ways and approaches are not there in the master's program. I feel like I've been a confident teacher since I started, but I was always nervous. Am I doing the right thing? Are all my students growing to where they need to grow? And Orton-Gillingham has helped me feel confident that I am teaching my students how to read, and by the end of the year, they're gonna make so much growth from where they've started. So I don't come in so shy and nervous about it anymore. I'm like, I know what I'm doing, and I have all these different things in my toolbox that can help me when teaching my students to read and to write.
We were being trained to kind of push phonics off to the side, which didn't seem to make a ton of sense when you started working with students and you're trying to diagnose and figure out what they don't know, what do they know. Memorizing a whole word or trying to use pictures to then understand what they're reading could be tricky and was not clear. It was a little bit like, oh wait, there is a way to do this. And so I feel like the OG is really giving us as teachers an opportunity to be very intentional and specific about what we're doing so that there's less question and mystery about how to read. Did that work? Did that not work? What went well? How are we gonna change things up? And just sharing aha moments, like, oh, that's why we divide words like that, that's a syllable, just things like that that I was never instructed on as a teacher, but make so much sense. Like there's tools and keys to figuring out some of these things that seem so mysterious.
I think 60% of our kids aren't reading because we are not consistent with anything in As a nation, when it comes to teaching, as a state, as a district, I think there's not a lot of consistency. There's not longevity. Some kids are going to pick up reading just because their parents read to them and it's easy, or they have that kind of photographic memory, but most kids don't. And even if they do pick up the reading, they're not going to pick up the spelling skills or understand why words are spelled a certain way unless those are explicitly taught to them. So the Orton-Gillingham approach is definitely for all kids, not just kids with dyslexia or any kind of learning disabilities. I mean, everybody needs to learn to read. We don't want anyone to be left behind. And I feel guilty when I have kids that struggle. I'm like, okay, how do I figure this out? How do I work with them individually? Where do I find the time to do more with that student or students? So it is a high stakes game. Yeah, I don't want anyone to lack confidence or feel bad about themselves.
We have seen incredible success that we are all so proud of. The OG teachers, the teachers that we've trained, have seen a 72% increase in scores compared to the teachers that were not trained. Multilingual learners and vulnerable student populations made the largest gains, helping to close achievement gaps. The Lowcountry Literacy Project, truly our mission is to train teachers in the Orton-Gillingham approach to reading and writing. Our goal is to scale this here in Charleston and beyond, and then help make change at the state level. Literacy policy, making sure that our teachers are absolutely equipped with what they need in the classroom. No teacher should walk into a school any day of the week and not feel comfortable teaching reading. They need to know. An Orton-Gillingham lesson is consistent. There's 11 different sections. A teacher knows exactly where to start and where she's going to end with her students. So an OG lesson starts at the most basic level of sound, phonemes, and they work in attached letters. Now we're reading words, and now we're reading stories. And then also, our big goal and major principles of OG is what a student can read, they can spell, and they can write. And so the backside of our lesson comprises of spelling letter sounds, words, sentences. All of this is woven together. And so our students know they get to read for a portion of the lesson, and then they get to write what they've just learned.
I was thrilled to get Orton-Gillingham training because it felt like a systematic approach for teaching that made sense to me, it makes sense to the kids, and it just felt more powerful than any curriculum I was going to be handed. I think things click for them, and now they understand when to use 2 consonants at the end of a 1-syllable word because they've been told why.
My role in the community came from my parents. Both my parents are original 10-mile and 2-mile people. And in the Gullah community, which is who I am as well, that's how we look at where we're from. We're Gullah. We are the original Black Indians, if you will. And we're the survivors. We are the survivors of what our ancestors had to go through here. And I know what they went through. And I'm proud to really to talk about my Gullah background and who I am. And that's another thing too, why OG is so important to people in the Gullah community, because we do have an ESOL. We do English for a second language. This was not our first language. And in the Gullah community, nobody told you a system of how to read. You had to teach yourself.
And why is Orton-Gillingham personal to your family?
So, you got Logan, my niece, and I'm so proud of Christy and Sean, and I'm proud of Logan too, because she got in that seat and she said, you know what, I can do it, Mommy. I can do it. And she's choosing a hard thing to do, but guess what? She's gonna do it.
Remember, we're going to start right at the top. Number 1, auditory drill. We say it as we write it. Are we ready? Pencil up. Doing a great job. All right. What says O?
Every day in this building, there's somebody that makes a super positive comment about what is going on in the classrooms with the OG.
The teachers, it's just kind of contagious. The teachers have gone through the training, feel so much more confident in their literacy instruction, which then carries over into their confidence when they're talking to families about their child's literacy. And I'm also noticing the children and their confidence as readers. It's just really blossomed the last 3 years, and that's just something that it just really excites me as a school-based leader.
As new research emerges, I think it's important for educators to be open so that they can learn and evolve. I think it's our professional responsibility to develop as things come about.
Our newest partner school, St. Andrew's School of Math and Science, saw incredible growth on their recent Spring iReady data. 97% of the students who received OG instruction met their ELA growth for the year. Something we need to note there is that the diversity of the student group is 51% being identified as pupils in poverty.
Every single child has improved, and I'm able to give these children what it is that they need, that they all are capable no matter what.
I had heard about OG and I really wanted to learn how to do it and how to implement it. So we had really great sessions that were hands-on. We were able to use manipulatives. They came in with all of the materials that we needed, and I was able to work with my colleagues and collaborate with them. One of the best parts was that I was able to have my mentors watch me teach and they were able to give me feedback like right in the moment, and that's something that I've never gotten before. I've never been able to have a mentor come in and say, okay, this is what we can do and this is how you can be better. So that was amazing.
If you were to walk in to an OG lesson, kindergarten, first, second grade, doesn't matter, the teachers will all be teaching in the same way. And so what that looks like is we want our students to be saying the sounds, to be naming the letters, to be tracing letters with their fingers. We've got some kinesthetic, tactile going on. We want them to be visually seeing our card deck. So they're pairing the visual, they're pairing the auditory, they're pairing the kinesthetic and tactile by writing with pencil.
By the fourth child, you just kind of quit worrying about all the little details and just assume it'll all work out fine. And we had our fourth son, Joe, and it did. And when he was 1 and he was 2 and he was 3, he was never sick. He was just a very healthy boy. He showed no signs of any challenges or any issues. And then one day he dropped and had a grand mal seizure, just unexpected. I didn't know what that was, didn't know if he was having a stroke or, it was a very challenging, scary event. We ended up in an ambulance at the hospital, and they thought it just, they said kids have seizures, it could just be one. And then the next day he had another, and then they diagnosed him with childhood epilepsy, and then began to give him epilepsy meds, and he began to have more and more seizures, and he was having seizures of all kinds. So he was having grand mal seizures, he was having partial seizures, he was having what they call drops, where he would just drop to the ground and then not know why he dropped. And it just became and then he had seizures that didn't stop. And so in the night, we would hear him and we would rush in and we'd have to give him rescue meds after a certain amount of time to try to make the seizure stop. And I think in 2 months, we did about 5 trips to the ER to Sean Jenkins at MUSC, and lots of just scary kind of questions. But the grace of God, he quit having seizures, but he just got on 2 seizure meds. So seizure meds will slow your brain, obviously, and then seizures are not good for the brain as well. And so he began they upped his first seizure med about 4 or 5 times, and nothing got better. So they added another. But like I said, grace of God, the seizure stopped, and we kind of slowly over time began to resume a new normal. And he, on the surface, he appeared like everything was fine. He has a great sense of wit and a great sense of humor. Knows the right time to make the right joke, whether it's from a show he's seen or he's heard an older kid say, but he always seems very intelligent. And the thing with kids that have challenges with learning that's really deceiving is sometimes kids will look perfectly normal, if normal is such a thing, but then you see them in a certain setting and they're struggling, and it doesn't make any sense because when you talk to them, they seem like they're fully capable to do everything they need to do. But then when they have to, in Joe's case, he would go to pre-K at a 4K and 3K, and they would do a letter for the day or a letter for the week. And all week they'd be doing the letter S, and by the end of the week, he had no idea what the letter was. And he had no idea what an S sounds like or what an S does. And I think in his case, it was a combination of the seizures, but it was also the heavy seizure meds that were making it very difficult for him to learn. But it was just kind of a new territory, and we really didn't know what the future was going to hold and what the path out of that was. And so when he came to kindergarten at Jenny Moore, they tested him and he was in the 5th percentile, and his siblings were all in the 98th and 99th percentile, so it was obviously very shocking to kind of walk into that. But Orton-Gillingham kind of stepped in because we were blessed to have that at our school, and his teacher had been trained in that and she was passionate about it. And so she began to work with him, and then again, grace of God, we were blessed that they were going to pilot working with kindergartners. And so they just selected a few, and because he was so low, he fit into that mold, and he immediately shot from the 5th percentile. By December, he was in the 37th, I think. So he made a huge growth gain, and then he shot up another 28% from December to August, or to June. So he made huge growth, and it's been amazing to see. And he still obviously struggles in some ways compared to his siblings, what they could do and what, but he's using the tools that he's learned through Orton-Gillingham to figure it out and to work through it. And so it's something that we're just so thankful for, because it really helped him to go from, we didn't really have a solution.
Do you remember how you felt once it started to click?
I felt great. I was so excited. And when my grades actually went up, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself.
I would want other families to know that there is a solution out there. There's help out there. I didn't know there was help. I just didn't want her to be struggling and feeling sad and defeated. But now, once she has this tool and she's got the OG program behind and with her, she's hitting it.
I feel thankful, but also convicted that my child got it and not every kid does. And so that's a hard kind of thing to wrestle through. Like, I'm so thankful that as a teacher in the school, my child, I could help him navigate that. But not every parent can advocate in that way. Not every child gets the attention they deserve or they need, or sometimes there's so many challenged kids that they don't get the attention. And so I'm so thankful to be in a school that Joe was able to get the attention he needed, but every school isn't that way, and it should be. I guess I'm thankful that he got it, but I want every kid to have that opportunity,
I don't know that I have the words that could adequately express the gratitude I have for the donors that contributed and helped make this possible this last year at Jenny Moore Elementary School. We have trained to date, I think, about 25 teachers. It is changing. It's changed the culture at Jenny Moore. It has set our students up for success, and it's made it'll make such a lasting impact on generations to come, because once the teachers are trained, they've got this knowledge. No one can take it away from them. So thank you so much for finding a way to support such a critical issue at our schools.